1 year and a day after my wife passed, I found myself going out on a date. The night before had been rough. In fact, there's no point in sugarcoating it. Let's just call it what it was. Terrible. Awful. I'd been doing okay, at least I thought so. Not great, but I'd made progress. I had immersed myself in work, hobbies, and life itself. I didn't think about her every day anymore. Most days, yes, but not all. I thought I was moving forward, maybe not the same, but I'd get through it. Then came the anniversary of her death, and I wasn't okay. It was the word anniversary that broke me. We'd celebrated 23 anniversaries together. This year, it was the first one without her. The one the month after she died had been painful too, but I had expected it. I'd made plans, called some friends over. We honored her memory, drank a little, shared stories. I cried, of course. They were there for me, and I didn't feel alone. This year, it had been 12 months. Many of those friends had gone on with their lives. I didn't blame them. It's tough to keep inviting your widowed friend to every couple's gathering. They had let me tag along for a while, and I appreciated it. Eventually, though, the suggestions came. Maybe you should meet someone else. Talk to that woman at the bar, take a chance. I wasn't ready for any of that, and I didn't know how to tell them that. So we saw each other less and less. I should have called them up on the anniversary. They would have come, but instead, I sat alone in the house. The silence, the weight of it, crushed me. So I got drunk. Deeply, dangerously drunk. I flipped through our wedding album until I could barely see the pictures through the tears. Then I threw it against the wall in frustration for being blurry. The album broke, the metal rings coming apart, scattering the pictures across the room. I punched the wall and then kicked it in anger for breaking the album. I slammed back another drink and screamed until my throat burned, then drank more to soothe the pain. I raged at her for leaving, at myself for not dying first, at the world for allowing this to happen. I don't know when I finally passed out, but I woke up the next morning, still dressed, with a pounding headache and a throat that felt like I had been strangled. The house was a mess. I had shattered pictures, punched holes in the walls, thrown furniture around. Bottles and glasses covered the kitchen counters. Some were broken, and there was glass everywhere. I took a handful of aspirin, drank water, and started cleaning up. I set the chairs back in place, rehung the pictures, and carefully swept up all the broken glass, amazed that I hadn't cut my feet during my drunken chaos. I was incredibly lucky not to have hurt myself. As I carried the dustpan outside, I found something unexpected in my backyard. In a perfect circle about 4 feet across, 7 oval stones were jutting about 2 feet out of the ground. They were all the same size, hammered deep into the earth. One was cracked down the middle, probably from being hit. The others had scuff marks on top, but remained whole. My tool shed door was open, and my sledgehammer lay beside the stones. I assumed I was the one who had placed them there, but I didn't remember doing it. I couldn't even recall seeing these stones before. I hoped whoever I took them from didn't mind. I tried pulling one out, but it was stuck tight. I'd need a shovel to dig them out if someone wanted them back. While standing in the circle, I noticed something odd near the tool shed. A figure stood inside, just beyond the light. I could barely make out a humanoid shape. It didn't move, just stood there, watching me. "Hello?" I called out. No response. I called again. "You can't be here. This is private property." Still nothing. I stepped out of the circle of stones, intending to approach the tool shed, but the morning sun momentarily blinded me. When I could see again, the figure was gone. I thought about checking the tool shed, but then I considered, what if they were still there? I wasn't in the mood to confront a stranger. It was probably nothing worth risking my life for. My tools weren't valuable, so I decided to leave it alone for now. I went back inside to rest. After taking some more aspirin, I thought I'd take a nap. When I woke up, my phone buzzed. A notification caught my eye. "You have a match." The logo showed a closed eye. I didn't recognize it, but I clicked it. The screen read "Blindly," with an image of two people covering their eyes. It was a dating app. I had no idea how it got on my phone, but then again, I didn't remember much about last night. I was just thankful I still had my phone. The message contained a name of a restaurant and the time of 7:30 p.m. No other information, just an option to accept or decline. I thought of 100 excuses to reject it. I almost hit deny. But then I looked around at the damage I'd done. The holes in the walls, the pictures with missing glass, my messy home. I tapped accept. Your date will be wearing a yellow top or dress. You will wear a blue shirt. The rest will happen blindly. A bit of a gimmick, but it caught my attention. I found a blue shirt to wear and headed out. When I reached the restaurant, I saw her immediately. She wore a dress the color of golden corn under the sun. She looked like summer itself. When she saw me, she smiled and held up the Blindly app screen. I nodded and walked over to join her. The evening was unlike anything I expected. I thought I would be awkward, unsure, even angry. But it wasn't like that at all. It was easy, surprisingly so. We had dinner, drinks, and then walked through the city, enjoying the simple pleasure of each other's company. I wish this night didn't have to end, she said. It doesn't have to, I replied, surprising myself with the boldness. She smiled and playfully nudged me. How can we have a second date if the first one doesn't end? Besides, I'm sure you have things to do. I thought about my house. A few things I can patch up. Patch them up then, she said. I'll see you soon. It was nearly midnight when I parked in my driveway. As I walked to the door, a loud crack echoed from behind the house. I rushed around to investigate. Under the moonlight, the yard appeared still and empty. My tool shed door was ajar, like a black void. The stones were still in their ring. A second one was cracked, split in two. My sledgehammer lay exactly where I had left it. The noise could have come from the stone breaking. But what had caused it? I went to bed, uneasy but exhausted, and fell asleep almost immediately. The next day, I actually got to work cleaning the house. The mess I had made during my drunken outburst was only part of the problem. Dust gathered on counters, clothes were scattered about, and the kitchen had been neglected for who knows how long. Like me, the house had been coasting along, slowly slipping into disrepair. I scrubbed, swept, and tidied up. The house looked much better for it, but there were still the holes in the walls to fix. I thought I had drywall patches somewhere, but I couldn't find them. I wondered if I had put them in the tool shed. The thought of going out there made me shiver, but I tried to push it aside. It wasn't that unreasonable to feel uneasy. It was late in the day, and I still hadn't checked to make sure my uninvited visitor had left. For all I knew, they were still holed up in the shed. I really didn't want to confront anyone right now, especially after everything else. But I decided to deal with it later. I went to the hardware store to buy new drywall patches, leaving the shed for tomorrow. By the time I went to bed that night, the house was clean, the walls patched, and everything ready for a new coat of paint. The place looked much better than it had since my wife passed. I felt proud of myself, tired but proud. I fell asleep before 8 o'clock, hoping nothing would disturb me. At midnight, the loud crack woke me instantly. I didn't need to check my phone to know it was exactly midnight. I froze, heart pounding. I didn't go outside. I didn't even get out of bed. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, imagining the toolshed door, knowing something was waiting there. I didn't dare look. In the morning, I woke to a text. "How's your patching?" I sent back, "Patchy? Want to get breakfast?" I checked the time and added, "Lunch?" She was waiting for me at the cafe, as vibrant as she had been the night before. Her sundress was the same golden shade, and her grin was just as playful. "It's good to see you again," she said. "I thought you might be gone." "Where would I go?" I replied, offering a smile. She shrugged lightly. "Sometimes people just go." "Well, I'm here to stay," I said with a small laugh. Her smile softened, touched with an unspoken sadness. No one stays forever. Her words gave me an odd feeling, but I let the moment pass. We spent the day together, walking through parks, visiting galleries, exploring the town. It felt like we were in perfect sync, as if we were meant to share this day. I realized, though, that I was not just sharing it with her. I was also reconnecting with myself. It had been a long time since I felt alive, like I was truly living, not just going through the motions. When the day faded into evening, I checked my phone. It was already 3 a.m. I had lost track of time, but in a good way. There was no crack, no sign of the midnight sound that had haunted me. I felt relieved. Maybe it was just in my head, nothing supernatural, just a sound. "You look happy," she said, noticing the shift in me. "Something I was worried about turned out to be no big deal," I replied, feeling lighter with each passing moment. We didn't sleep that night. We danced through the night, talked, laughed, and explored until the dawn began to break. We found ourselves back at my house, the only natural conclusion to the day. I showed her my house, now freshly painted, everything cleaned and fixed. It felt like a new beginning, for both of us. "Show me the stones," she said softly. It was dark outside. The toolshed door was still open. "I don't want to," I replied. "It's okay," she said, her voice gentle, and she took my hand. We walked to the circle of stones. 5 of them were cracked now. As we stepped into the center of the ring, I saw the figure again in the doorway of the toolshed. It didn't move. It was waiting for me. We stood together, looking into the darkness of the shed. "Why is this happening?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "It's almost midnight," she said. She knelt and gently touched one of the unbroken stones. It snapped violently in response. I felt the impact in my chest. She stood up and turned to face me. "You have one more day if you need it." "What happens after that?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly. She nodded toward the toolshed. "It comes for you. And if I don't need the day?" She smiled that same secretive smile from earlier. "Then you go to it. That's not much of a choice. It's the only choice there ever is. You can run from your life, or you can embrace it. That's true for the end too. I'm not ready to die." She reached out and touched my neck, her fingers as soft as they had been on the stone. "You died a week ago." I turned toward the toolshed, feeling its presence like a weight on my chest. The thing inside had been waiting, and now I knew I was ready to face it. I stepped forward, leaving her behind in the circle. The voice whispered from the darkness, "I've been waiting." I stepped into the toolshed, finally embracing what waited for me beyond.